All right, hi you guys. I just wanted to check in again and make a kind of a introductory video to just being able to do distant learning and developing a schedule with your kids at home and being able to really start to consider incorporating academics. Also, just overall, just trying to create balance for you and your students and your kids. So I just want to share with you some ideas, some things that I'm doing at home. Again, you can adjust it to fit your needs. But I just wanted to kind of share these ideas with you guys, and please be feel free to comment below, ask me questions in the comments below, and also share ideas. So a couple things that we're doing. First, you want to think about food. Everybody right now is kind of under pressure when it comes down to however that may be set up for you, in which keeping your refrigerator stocked is quite challenging because you're home more, you're eating more, your kids are home, they're eating more. A lot of times you eat out of comfort foods and just being bored or whatever. So what we did was kind of come up with a meal schedule, meal plan, so that we're factoring in those moments in which we want to have snacks, or I'm factoring in those moments when we want to, um, you know, uh, I guess binge on ice cream and cookies or whatever. So what I did, and here is my schedule here. I actually have it written out for the kids, and I have it posted in my home so that the kids can also see it and choose. So as we go grocery shopping, or we oh, I'm sorry, this was actually what I showed you was my chore list. That was we'll talk about that too. But this is my daily menu list here. And this is something that I sat down and I incorporated with the kids. So we sat down and we talked about it. We discussed some of the options, some of the things that we enjoy eating. And when we made our kind of last dash store run to stock up, we kind of incorporated those things that we wanted to eat for breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner. So my list reads as follows. It says daily menu, substituting is not allowed, only when item is out of stock. So sometimes you find that the kids want to eat whatever they want, but we fail to realize that if we have, say, if we have orange juice, apple juice, and grapefruit juice, whatever, you open every last one of them, then they're all going to equally get drank, all be going at the same time. So it's important that you kind of proportionalize what you're drinking, because at this point we kind of at a situation where rations do are in place here, in which I'm rationing out certain amounts of food to each of you so that we don't run out. And the idea is to not run out, is to have food available for an extended amount of time, so that you're not having to run out and try to get food or find resources to get food and things like that on a regular basis. So in a schedule, although it may sound a little strict or maybe even harsh, I don't know, to teach his own, far as your opinion, but it's pretty important in a very stressful and strenuous time like this. So for breakfast, I have like 4 options, such as like waffle, boiled egg, bagel, cheese toast, things like that. Simple things that they themselves can fix. Sometimes I cook breakfast. I'll come in downstairs and I'll cook a whole big breakfast sometimes. And hey, that's your lucky day, manager's choice. But on most days, they're able to come down and they pick one from that category, in which they can have that as their main course. Then I have options here of different fruits to go along with their breakfast, in which they then pick one fruit from their breakfast that go along with their meal. And then like a side item, such as like yogurt, a little small bowl of cereal, oatmeal or grits to go with whatever their main their main course is for breakfast. And then they have options for drink, in which they would then also pick one. Same thing for lunch. Lunch, we have a couple of options there. Then they pick one for each category, just like a menu. Okay, just like you would do for a menu. You pick your side, you pick your main course, and you pick your drink. And always factor in water there because it's important to stay hydrated during this time as well, so that the kids are drinking water. So during snack, as you can see, I only give one option because that kind of forces their hand to drink water. Most of your kids that I know, I've seen them drink plenty of water. In class, they drink a lot of water, so that's good. You shouldn't have that problem. My kids, on the other hand, have to kind of, enforce that. But and they have to pick something different each day, and that a lot. So that makes it so they're not eating the same thing over and over again, which then also makes it run out. And then for dinner, I put manager's choice because it depends on, what I have available and what I feel like cooking. So that's a good idea for a daily menu, to keep it so that your kids are also making healthier choices for themselves as they're home, and making it so that the burden is not necessarily on you as to preparing their meals. They can prepare their meals on their own, teaching them some sense of independence as well, and kind of giving a structure for them to be able to do. And a lot of times they'll feel confident in knowing that, okay, I can choose from these things, and that makes it so easier for me to prepare my own food and not have to, necessarily go to mom or dad for every, moment I'm hungry, or not necessarily eating every 5 minutes because they're eating things that are not fulfilling for them. So I would like to hear your thoughts and, maybe your any ideas about that. But that's something that you can also incorporate in your homes. We do have chores. Let me go back. Let me skip back to the schedule first. So this is our schedule. I know it probably looks a little intimidating, but it's not. I promise you. And when the school first let out, maybe we took a week. I took a week off. And then I just spent some time working on our schedule and putting, and trying to get it in place for us. But it's a very simple schedule, actually. Monday through Friday, we wake up. Well, I put myself as waking up and preparing for the day. Kids then get up at like 9:30ish. Trying to keep the habit of getting up early and not sleeping all day, which is very hard for us because we enjoy sleeping late. So we struggle with that. But long as you're, keeping up with your routine, whatever works for you. I mean, at this point, you do what you can. So 9 to 9:30, kids are getting up. They're brushing their teeth, washing their face, because hygiene is important. We kind of lose track of that as kids when it comes down to being at home all day, because it seems like each day kind of leads into the next. And then you have to think, did I brush my teeth this morning? So I factor that in and make sure that they're getting up and doing that every day. Then around 10, we have breakfast. And after breakfast, 10:30 a.m., it's chore time. After chore time, 11:30, we have a snack, and that's a kind of a break, in which they can also like check in on their phones or look at social media or whatever. We do have scheduled blocks for social media, so I suggest that you guys consider that, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. And at 12, we have academic time. So that's the time in which my homeschooling kind of takes place, in which we do activities together. I set up programs for my children to do, and just so that they're getting some academic enrichment. And right now we basically focus on one subject per day. Like science, we do something with science, and it varies between my two kids as far as where they're at and what we're doing. But like my son, he may be doing a science lab or a project or something like that, and my daughter may be working on her math division, or and each day I alter what we do so that I'm covering all subjects, but I'm not overwhelming myself or them. So keep it short, keep it simple. Don't spend a lot of time. I to put hour block for academics. About an hour from 12 to 1 o'clock, we focus on academics and doing something that's, intellectually stimulating for them. And I make the activities fun most of the time. You know, some my kids are kind of reluctant at first, but then once we get to doing it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah. And so, and those are all things that you have resources available online to get, you know, activities and reading activities, math activities, things like that. And I'm going to be giving some lessons as well, so that you can kind of reinforce it with your kids. Because I know a lot of the stuff that they're learning, particularly fifth grade academics is not easy. So I don't, you know, don't feel like I have to know all of this stuff. Just do what you can to keep your child academically enriched during this situation in this hard time we're experiencing right now. So anyway, so now we have at 1 o'clock we have lunch, and then after that I give them about an hour to eat lunch because, you know, they fix it and things like that. And recess or art or craft, I call it exploration, in which they can kind of, you know, do some crafts around the house, or they can perhaps go outside if, you know, my kids kind of have allergies, so we have to monitor that outside part. But they do go outside, or they can, you know, do something like reading or drawing, or you know, whatever moment, but it's something that's not related to electronics. It's something that kind of allows them to be creative and explore different avenues of their creativity, beyond that of the internet. So at that point, they kind of have, like I said, an exploration period in which they can just do whatever they want, as long as it's creative. And then after that, they have a snack around 4, and then their day is pretty much over. It's dinner time, and then we have from like 6 until 8 o'clock. We have things like kind of, you know, we're watching TV. That's the time when we can use our electronics and talk to our friends, FaceTime or whatever, and socialize that way. We, you know, that's the time if we want to take a walk in your neighborhood or around to the, well, you can't go to the park, but around the block or something like that. Go outside, ride your bikes. We walk the dog, things like that. And then by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, the latest for us is about 10:30. You know, it's bath and bedtime. And so, and on the weekends, we relax. You know, Saturday, Sundays, kind of relaxed day, in which we still get up and do chores. However, I do factor in reading time on the weekends, in which they just kind of sit and read as opposed to academic time. It's just kind of like what I call deer time, which is drop everything and read, and they just read. And that's a important part of their academics too, just reading. So anytime you can factor that in with them, and reading with your child is important too, so that you can engage into what you're reading. So continue to do those things with your children and developing the schedule. It doesn't have to be, you know, the perfect schedule, and of course it will not work every day, and there's some days that you, the adult, are not gonna feel like adulting. I have those days every so often. So don't feel bad if you are not every day on schedule, but just, you know, do the best you can, and developing and keeping some kind of structure, because the kids tend to work better if they know what to predict in a situation like this where things are completely unpredictable. You want to give them some kind of balance in their lives right now when everything is not so balanced, you know. So chores vary per household, of course, but I do have a chore list in which they pick. I set a set of chores based on age and based on you know, how they, like my daughter, she's really good with the plants, so she waters the plants, and so I kind of choose based on, you know, just kind of how they the things that they enjoy doing anyway. But you know, nobody likes doing chores, but there are certain things that they're, you know, kind of specialized. Like my son, he's good at cleaning the bathrooms. Like he wipes it all down and it's all shiny when he's done. So you know, he does the bathroom. So I have a list of chores for each one of my children in which they choose two every day, and cleaning their room is a must, is mandatory. So cleaning their room and feeding the dog is mandatory, and then they choose two additional ones after that. So you can kind of follow that model if you like, whatever works for you. I also incorporate things like family. This is something we just sketched up. I haven't like typed it up, made it look pretty, but you want to factor in family time. In a time like this, is very important to try to factor in some kind of time that you guys are fellowshipping and just doing things together as a family. I don't know everyone's situation. And again, these are just suggestions that I would hope to make it easier for you guys. Not to say that that everybody should be doing this, because everybody's situation is very different right now, and it's hard to even think about things like this, when you don't know what to expect literally the next day with your well-being. So again, my heart goes out to any of you who are experiencing financial hardship. If you have anyone that has been been in contact with the coronavirus or is suffering from it, my heart goes out to you, and you're in my prayers. Again, this video is just to offer you some support in how to kind of create balance for your kids throughout the day. And I hope that you find it a little bit helpful, and just kind of sharing those ideas with you. Okay. But yes, it's important that, in particularly these kind of uncertain times, that you find some way to still fellowship with your family, and in this kind of bubble that you're in right now, that's very important. And so we thought about, we came up with things to do. We actually sat down and said, okay, family things to do, Ember things to do, well, my son's things to do, my daughter's things to do, and my son's things to do. They all have a things to do list. When you get super bored and mommy ain't doing nothing, daddy ain't doing nothing, ain't nobody doing nothing, it's boring, then you have this things to do list, meaning that things that I can do that maybe I'm not thinking about right now. So I go to this list and let's see, what can I do? Hey, okay, I haven't done that in a while, so let's do that. And they can kind of check that off their list. And we sat down and actually talked about this. It's important not to give lists to your children. It's important to allow them to create lists on their own, so that they can do the thinking, they can do the creative part and putting it together and feel included. So we made a family things to do list, like game nights, board game nights, movie nights, cooking nights in which we cook together, take a walk, well, not nights, but take a walk together, game nights. We even incorporated Alexa game nights, because Alexa has games, and do stuff like play golf, inside golf. So it's ways you can kind of improvise, and they have all kinds of little family games that I've seen online that you can play as a family and stuff like that. But getting something in where you can do as a group is also good. So I hope that this was a little bit helpful with you guys kind of just brainstorming on some ideas. Please share your ideas with me as well. And what do you think about just in general what you guys are doing? Share with me what you in the comments, or just send me a remind, whichever works for you. But let me know what you guys are doing at home, how things are going, what you've been up to, and how you're trying to find balance and create peace throughout all of this chaos right now. I would love to hear from you guys, so I hope that that you take the opportunity to just leave a couple comments and just let me know how you're doing. Otherwise, tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, but in a couple days, I'll be posting another video. We're going to be talking about line graphs. So that was something that we learned in the beginning of the year, how to plot data on a line graph, how to collect data, and how to read the line graph as to seeing a change over a period of time, and interpreting that data so that we can get an understanding of that change over time. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit on my next video. So make sure you subscribe and make sure that you also hit the notifications so that when I post a video, it'll automatically pop up that you have a new video. I have a new video out for you guys. I'll send out reminds too when I post another video, but all in all, that's the means of kind of keeping up with that. So I think that's it for now. I'm trying to keep them under the videos under 20 minutes. The lessons will be short lessons, and I'm going to primarily focus on math. I may even give out like kind of practice for you to do, like, you know, practice problems and you work on them at home. You can always share with me your questions through the comments, and reach out to me through Remind if you need anything, or if there's anything further I could explain or help you with, or answer any questions. Again, go on UR Harris website and check for any resources that the district has also made available. I will be sharing some other resources that I feel that kind of coincide with whatever lessons that I may give. And yeah, so I thank you all for taking the time to watch the video, and I wish you all well, and I'll be seeing you again soon. Bye.